The detention facility aboard the Zenith orbital station housed the galaxy's most dangerous criminals. But none inspired fear quite like the creature in cell block Omega-7. Dravak, they called him, a Draconith warrior from the burning worlds of Pyros Prime, standing 12 feet tall with obsidian scales that shimmered like volcanic glass and eyes that burned with an amber fury hot enough to melt durasteel. For 3 weeks, he had raged. His roars shook the reinforced walls. His clawed fist struck the energy barriers with such force that the entire section's power grid flickered. The guards, Vexian shock troopers bred for combat, Carathian enforcers with exoskeletons harder than diamond, all maintained a 50-foot perimeter. Even the automated drones that delivered his meals did so from maximum distance, their mechanical arms trembling as they slid nutrition packs through the barrier's lower port. Commander Voss, a grizzled Tyrellian with 4 eyes and twice as many military commendations, watched from the observation deck with growing concern. "He's deteriorating," she said, her mandibles clicking nervously. "If he doesn't calm down, we'll have to sedate him permanently. The Council won't approve containment resources for a specimen this volatile." "Specimen?" Dr. Halrick, the station's xenopsychologist, adjusted his spectacles. "Commander, he's a sentient being. A prisoner of war, technically. The Draconith Accord is void when the prisoner poses an existential threat to station integrity," Voss interrupted. "I have 1,600 souls on this station, Doctor. I won't risk them for one angry dragon." Below them, Dravak unleashed another ear-splitting roar, his massive wings clipped and bound by neural inhibitors, straining against their restraints. Fire leaked from between his fangs, small jets of plasma that left scorch marks on the containment field. That's when she appeared. Mira Lane was 7 years old, small even for human standards, with wild brown hair pulled into uneven pigtails and a gap-toothed smile that seemed permanently affixed to her face. She wore a yellow sundress that was 2 sizes too big and carried a worn stuffed rabbit under one arm. Her father, Chief Engineer Marcus Lane, had brought her to the station 3 months ago after her mother's passing, and the crew had collectively adopted her as their unofficial mascot. She should not have been in cell block Omega. "Mira," her father's voice cracked with panic as he sprinted down the corridor, tools still clattering on his belt. "Get away from there!" But the little girl had already stopped directly in front of Dravak's cell, her small hands pressed against the humming energy barrier. The dragon's massive head swung toward her, eyes blazing, lips curling back to reveal teeth like crystalline daggers. A growl rumbled from deep within his chest, a sound that had made hardened soldiers lose control of their bodily functions. Mira tilted her head, studying him with the fearless curiosity only a child could possess. "You're sad," she said simply. The growl caught in Dravak's throat, his eyes narrowed, confusion flickering across his reptilian features. The guards behind Mira froze, weapons half raised, uncertain whether to grab the child or maintain their defensive positions. "Mira, please," her father whispered, now just 10 feet away, his face pale with terror. "Come to Daddy," slowly. She ignored him. "My mama died too," she continued, her voice carrying the matter-of-fact tone children use when discussing profound truths. "And I got really angry. I broke my favorite toy and yelled at Daddy and said I hated everything." Her lower lip trembled slightly, but I wasn't really angry. I was just sad and scared because everything changed and I couldn't make it go back. Dravak's breathing slowed, the fire between his teeth extinguished. His claws, which had been flexed and ready to strike, gradually relaxed. "Is that why you're yelling?" Mira asked, pressing her face closer to the barrier. "Because you're sad and scared and everything changed?" For a long moment, the dragon said nothing. The entire cell block held its breath. Even the station's ambient hum seemed to quiet, as if the universe itself was waiting for his response. When Dravak finally spoke, his voice was like distant thunder, deep, resonant and carrying the weight of mountains. "They destroyed my world," he rumbled, each word carefully formed in the station's common tongue. "They burned my skies, enslaved my people. I am the last of my clutch, the last of my bloodline. I rage because rage is all I have left." Mira nodded solemnly as if this made perfect sense to her. "That's really, really sad," she said. "But you know what my daddy told me? He said that being angry is okay, but staying angry forever means the bad things win. He said we have to be sad for a little bit, and then we have to remember the good things, and then we have to keep living because that's what the people we lost would want." She held up her stuffed rabbit. This is Hopper. Mama made him for me. He's got one eye missing and his ear is torn, but I love him because he reminds me that Mama loved me. Do you have something that reminds you of the good things? Dravak's massive form seemed to deflate. He moved slowly, carefully to the back of his cell where his few possessions lay in a corner. With surprising gentleness, he lifted something. A pendant on a chain forged from some iridescent metal that caught the light like a trapped aurora. My mother's wing seal, he said quietly, given to warriors who protect the clutch. His voice cracked. I failed them. I survived when they did not. You didn't fail, Mira said with absolute certainty. You're still here. That means you can tell people about them. You can make sure nobody forgets. That's the most important job ever. Commander Voss, watching from above, felt something unfamiliar sting her eyes. Dr. Halrick was openly weeping. Around the cell block, hardened guards lowered their weapons, their expressions softening. Dravak approached the barrier slowly, then lowered himself until his enormous head was level with the small human child. Up close, she could see the scars crisscrossing his scales, the weariness in his ancient eyes. You are brave, little one, he rumbled. Foolish, perhaps, but brave. What is your name? Mira Lane, what's yours? I am Dravak, last flame of House Paraxis, keeper of the Crimson Skies. He paused. And you are correct. I am sad, Mira smiled. That's okay. Sad is better than angry. Sad means you're healing. Will you visit me again, Mira Lane? There was something almost vulnerable in the dragon's tone. I do not wish to rage anymore. But I do not wish to be alone with only sadness. Every day, Mira promised. And I'll bring Hopper. He's really good at listening. As Marcus Lane finally pulled his daughter into a crushing embrace, Dravak settled onto the floor of his cell. His eyes closed, the pendant clutched gently in his claws. For the first time in 3 weeks, Cell Block Omega was silent, not with fear but with peace. Commander Voss tapped her communicator. Cancel the sedation order, she said. And Dr. Halrick? I think we need to reassess our approach to prisoner rehabilitation. Specifically, whether a 7-year-old human just accomplished what an entire xenopsychology department could not. The doctor smiled through his tears. Humanity, he said softly. They're smaller, weaker, shorter-lived than most species. But their capacity for empathy, for seeing past rage to the pain beneath, that's their superpower. That's why they'll inherit the stars. In her father's arms, Mira waved goodbye to Dravak, already planning tomorrow's visit. She'd bring her coloring book, she decided. Dragons probably liked coloring, and in his cell, Dravak, the last flame of House Paraxis, allowed himself to hope.